Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today we're talking about the JP Morgan Nasdaq Equity Premium Income ETF. And before we get started, I just wanted to mention Daily Investment Advice is your resource for financial education. It's a website that I personally created. The content is free. You can go here and check out our most recent article, for example, yesterday, where we talked in depth about the psychology of investing, fear and greed, and all those different psychological factors to consider. So lots of resources and free stuff on there. Check that out, guys, if you're interested. Here we have the JP Morgan Nasdaq Equity Premium Income ETF. You'll see that the dividend is 9.75%. The annual dividend is over $5 per share. So assuming you invested 1,000 shares in this ETF, you're going to be getting, according to this, over $5 back on that annual dividend per share. So 1,000 shares times $5 is $5,000 on your investment. And if we take a look at these most recent dividends, you'll see that we have cash amounts in the 30 cents per share, 40 cents per share every single month being paid out to you. So for every share that you own, basically, and right now this ETF is trading at $52.69 or 70 cents roughly. You'll see there's been a bit of a retracement as well. So this ETF is basically designed to be less volatile than the Nasdaq, but at the same time, we have that regular income stream, and it's going to participate in some of the upside. So as the Nasdaq has been going up in recent months, if we take a look at the QQQ, it'll show kind of a similar chart pattern, but this ETF, the JEPQ ETF, is designed to exhibit lower volatility while also providing that regular income stream. So if we look at the beta, for example, of this ETF, you can see down here under, if we look at the actual number, if I can find it, there it is, 0.84 is the actual beta for this. And so we can look at that relative to the S&P 500, which is meaning this ETF will be less volatile than the market. So even though it's tracking the tech-heavy Nasdaq index, which tends to be more volatile, it's still less volatile than the S&P 500 overall. But if we were to assume, let's say, that we wanted to make like $10,000 per month from this ETF, which is definitely doable. I mean, I'm not sure if anybody out there watching this has a $2 million portfolio, for example, but if we just use that as an example, if we take a $2 million portfolio, and I'm just having fun, I know this is a lot to consider investing in a single ETF like this, and you probably want to be more diversified, especially with a large sum like that. But if we just have some fun here and say a 9.75% dividend yield, I mean, we are looking at substantial passive income, potentially, whoops, I messed that up, but potentially enough to quit your job and move down to Florida, right, or something like that. So, $195,000 a year divided by 12 is going to be $16,000 a month in passive income. Now, if we actually take a more specific measured approach to this, we can take $2 million and then take the actual ETF price, which is $52.80. And by doing that, what we're going to do is take that, divide it, and we get 37,878 shares. So we'll just call it 37,875 to make it easy. 37,875 shares in our possession with that $2 million investment that we just bought. So now we're going to start collecting the dividends, and you'll see here the most recent dividend. We can take that 0.42728. Lots of numbers there to 0.42728, 5 decimal places over, and we come up with $16,183.23. So per year, assuming this would keep up, which obviously the dividend's variable, you're looking at $194,000. And on a $2 million portfolio, we can take a look at the percent yield on that, which comes up to 9.7%. Now, obviously, the dividend yield is going to fluctuate based upon market conditions and everything else, but this is just an interesting prospect because people talk about passive income, and one thing I love to talk about on this channel is passive income and making income that does not require a job. You know, we go to work every day, we provide for our families, and we come home and we think about our future, right? Or at least sometimes I'm thinking, how can I save for retirement or, whatever I want to do. And the key, I think, is consistency, and also looking at perhaps ETFs like this as an option, depending on your risk tolerance and investing goals, because just the passive income alone can add up to substantial amounts. And even if you only invested, let's say, $50,000 into this ETF, let's just say at the current price, we're looking at, what is it, $52 a share. So we just assume you buy 1,000 shares. We'll make it easy and say you buy 1,000 shares. And if you look at the dividends, even from just 1,000 shares, 0.42728 times 1,000, and we have $427.28 per share. And that just shows you guys, I mean, it's one of those things where the passive income can add up to substantial amounts. And that's what I love about this strategy, this ETF in particular. And I also have talked about the cash secured put strategy and covered calls with this strategy. It is an option, no pun intended, because it involves options trading. But at the same time, like, we can look at this and say, okay, we have cash secured puts on the buy side, and then on the sell side, we can maybe sell a covered call and hope it goes unexercised and collect that premium in the process. So there's different ways in addition to the dividend alone that you could potentially make passive income in the hundreds or even thousands of dollars per month. And if you're looking to perhaps retire or looking at your options besides just a traditional 9-to-5 job or something else in terms of generating cash flow, this is definitely something to consider. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video where we briefly talked about the JP Morgan Nasdaq Equity Premium Income ETF. And God bless. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button if you have not already, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.